What's the scariest thing about being a woman? There is a long-standing stigma of women being overly dramatic and medical professionals, even female professionals, dismissing their pain or discomfort. I had several friends of varying ages who were misdiagnosed or ignored because the doctors assumed it was a pregnancy or period-related problem. Meanwhile, my older brother went to the doctor for what was essentially heartburn and got every test under the sun to diagnose it. My big sister kept getting told she had fatigue. Kept being fobbed off. Her husband made her change doctors, got proper tests done. She had kidney and lung cancer. She should sue Original Doc for medical negligence if possible. Otherwise, they will just do it to the next woman. Sorry for your sister, hope she's okay. They did, for medical negligence, they won some money which she donated to cancer research. Damn right. Good for them. I'm at the same doctor's. I've been battling chronic prostatitis for 2 years, had to pretty much demand to be referred to a urologist as being on antibiotics multiple times for multiple months has never helped. They literally Google your symptoms in front of you. Absolutely spot on with Google. When we went and saw our last GP, who was a fucking joke, for my scoliosis, we watched him Google scoliosis, turned to my mom and I and said, and I fucking quote, "This is in terms only people with my intelligence can understand," then straight up lied about my results. He said I had a 19-degree curve in my spine, but when my specialist relooked at my original films, before ordering his own set, he told us I actually have nearly a 30-degree curve and was on the verge of needing a brace. Someone with his kind of intelligence clearly can't do math properly. The kicker? Exactly 10 years later I was in the ER and had our old GP as my ER doc. He runs his tests and comes back to give me my results, and before he says them I asked, "Are these going to be in terms only someone with my intelligence can understand?" The silence that followed was deafening. I knew he knew exactly what I meant by that. Ended up being treated by a very lovely nurse the rest of my stay. Yep. Went to the same GP for 25 years with fatigue and pain symptoms, had several rounds of blood tests over the years that were normal. GP would shrug their shoulders and tell me it was all in my head. When I was 47 my brother went to his GP with the same symptoms and they actually said, "This is terrible, we'll find out what's going on." 6 months of tests later he's diagnosed with a genetic disorder. A week later I went private and was diagnosed too. I'm disabled now, had to give up work in 2020, I've now had a year of intensive physio to stop me being bed-bound. The next 2 years or so will be spent in the next phase of physio and muscle building so I don't end up in a wheelchair. None of this would have been necessary if I'd been diagnosed years ago. Not to mention the mental health impacts of being told you're mentally unstable all your adult life. Turns out I'm actually tough as old boots, luckily. Believe women, do better. For me, it would be being sad and then even worse, not believed. Not believed or blamed. I was raped 6 years ago. It still hurts to type that, and I never really brought it up until I was diagnosed with PTSD because I knew I would be blamed. I invited him to stay the night at my place, he didn't have a way home, I thought I was being a good friend, and we'd both been heavily drinking. I woke up and he was on top of me. Textbook rape. I went along with it because that's what felt safe, but it's also largely why I never reported it. I knew nobody would take me seriously. It hurt to walk the next day more than I can explain, and I really wish I'd done something. Edit, it actually gets worse, my wallet and phone were stolen the night before. I'd only lived in that city for less than 30 days and had no way around, all public transit, but without my wallet I didn't have my bus card or money to catch the metro. And without a phone, I didn't have any GPS to get me around by walking. I moved from 500 plus miles away to this place so didn't know anyone. I used my laptop to message a new friend and she let me borrow $50 cash to buy a Plan B, but I had to walk to her and get it. I got lost on the way and I flagged down a cop, but all he did was act put off. The whole time, it hurt so badly to walk. I routinely wonder what would have happened if I told him I had been raped the night before, although at that point, I wasn't exactly sure if it even was rape because I didn't push him or whatever. I just couldn't believe I'd let that happen to me so fast. I hadn't even been there 30 days. And then when I finally got to my friends, hours later, I tried to play it off like it was NBD because we were just starting graduate school and all in the same very small cohort. I couldn't think of a worse way to start than I got raped by our classmate last night, so I just pretended it was a goofy one-night stand. Then, later, of course he acted like I was a whore after finding out I'd gone on a few casual dates with his friend when it all happened. And because this is always how this shit happens, he has a relatively influential job in Congress now. I am positive if I ever came forward, I wouldn't be believed. But he shouldn't be there, and I'm sure he's done it more than just to me. I sought out therapy not having idea what was wrong with me, only knowing I felt like I'd developed a portfolio of mental illness basically overnight. By my third appointment she said, "No girl, you have PTSD. I'm still accepting what happened to me, and I still have a lot of shame. I'm working through it, but holy shit. I actually cannot think of a worse way to start graduate school. I'm proud of myself for finishing it." The unnerving calculation I have to make in deciding whether it's worth it to be polite and engage in conversation with a stranger, or to come off as cold and dismissive for the sake of my own safety. It's like playing a perpetual game of risk assessment. I had to explain to my husband why I don't react with straight-up anger in certain situations. It's safer for me to nervously laugh and GTFO than to confront someone and have them follow me to my car. And when you do the nervous laugh, they think that's the go-ahead to continue with the behavior. I experience this in nearly every job I've ever had. Especially with men who were my superiors or customers I can't be rude to or walk away from. I had a boss who was always making jokes about me being double penetrated, getting jizz in my hair, sucking dick, etc. I made it very clear I had a boyfriend, but that was all I could really do because he was in charge of my clinical rotation assessment. Also, I shouldn't need to make it clear that I have a boyfriend or don't want a near stranger to talk to me / about me like that. Please like and subscribe for more daily content. I publish new videos daily, otherwise please feel free to check out another video. Thanks for watching.